Recruiter here, getting you ahead of your job search by reviewing your resumes. The resume we have up first is a tech support agent or a help desk or an IT support. They're all the same. They have like 30 different names for the same type of job. So what we're going to be looking for in a tech support or help desk is the environment. So again, these are the qualifications, Mac OS or Linux or Android or Windows. Do you need all of those? No. We need about 75% of these, and I need at least one environment, but you don't need all of those. I want to see that you've gotten your education. I want to see customer service, troubleshooting, problem solving, something from networking. So DNS or DHCP or TCP or IP or VPN. You do not need all of them. I want to see that you can multitask and meet deadlines. I want to know the industry specific stuff you're help desking for. So like, is this tech support for, I don't know, a software as a service, which is a SaaS? Is it for cloud? Is it for LAN WAN? Is it for a customer relationship management platform, which is CRM? Jira, Office, Microsoft 365, you absolutely need that. Active Directory, and a bonus, which is not required but is nice to have, for any type of cert, desktop support, or PowerShell. So, can I find this in 20 seconds, which is all the time recruiters have? Let's go. Oh my gosh, I hate this. Okay. Deliver technical support through email and phone. Good. Percentages, no. Minimize system downtime. A constant upgrade. Test and confirm is okay. This is so far bad. This is good. Technical support, POS systems, Windows platforms. All right, yeah, this would be a yeet and delete. They only had about 30% of what I needed. So what I liked is they mentioned what their industry is POS, which is point of sale. So they specifically been doing cloud-based point of sale machines. So that was the industry. I liked the fact that they mentioned they were doing tech support, and I liked it. They were saying what they've done it through, which is email and phone. And then I saw Windows down here out of the corner of my eye, but everything else is bad. So let's see what this person says. Hey, Headless Headhunter. I am based in Europe, but most of my career I have been working for U.S. companies from small to large. Also, lately I've been developing programming skills, so I'm planning to apply to junior devs. Love your content. Okay, well, thank you very much. I'm about to rip you asunder, and I'm sorry for that. You made a critical mistake of putting everything I actually needed up here. So, I can't use anything in a skills section. I can't. You need your skills section to be removed. Everybody fights me for this. I'm sorry, it's bad. Your skills section is hurting you. This stuff up here is what I'm looking for, but I need it here, right? Because what you thought I needed was this 90% and 20% and 30%. But I'm telling you right now, as a recruiter and one person who speaks to a ton of hiring managers, they do not give a darn about that. They do not care about your percentages unless you're in sales or your management. But if you're not those two, you don't care about this. What they care about is that you used Zendesk, which is, I think, a customer relationship type platform, to speak with people and solve tickets while working on the TCP IP stuff in a Windows environment. Like, that's what they care about. And there is a common misconception that companies want impact. And it's like, kind of. Impact is not percentage, though. Impact is, I think you actually had this. This is impact, right? No, that's not even impact. Where is a good impact bullet point? Do you actually have any good impact bullet points? I don't think you do. Yeah, this is actually a good one. The problem is you don't have any keywords. I hate to use these terms, but let me back up. So what recruiters and hiring managers are looking for are qualifications. What a qualification is can be broken down into like a math problem. It's keyword, which is what you've done, plus how you've done it, plus the result or reason you did it. And this tells me the result and the how you did it and the result or reason, but it doesn't tell me what. And then here, most of the time, you don't tell me the reason or result, but you do you don't tell me the what. That's the problem. I'm missing the what. I need you to say, recognize the top talent. So let's say exceeded performance targets by performing customer service and troubleshooting Windows hardware, which which gave me high customer service ratings. That is what I want to see. In fact, I made a bullet point that is similar to this on my template resume, which is here, and on my website, it's free. The link is below. that actually tells me what it is, right? In fact, it is here. Handled a large lunch rush line by providing customer service and multitasking while making their food. This is for like a cashier or barista, which resulted in multiple 5-star reviews on our Google page mentioning me by name. This shows impact. It also shows the what in this case, which is making food and customer service, right? And how did you do it? By providing customer service and multitasking. This is how you need to write that bullet point. But you don't tell me that other part. In fact, this whole thing, you don't tell me what. I need to know what. Minimize system downtime, I don't care. But you know what I do want to see? Minimize system downtime by using LA LAN, whatever that is, TCP IP LAN troubleshooting and Microsoft Office Windows to fix people's complaints, right? Hard to think of those on the top when I do not know the actual industry what you're doing like that. But that is how you would write that, is I need to see what you've done, how you've done it, and the reason or result. And this entire resume is missing the what. So I need the what. The what is important, but I also need the how and the reason. Because again, I cannot use anything here. This does not count. If you just wrote, well, like what was in this here and Windows as well, this stuff down here, I would actually be able to move you forward. But right now I can't. So that's all I can do for this resume. Before we go to the next resume, like, comment, and subscribe, reshare it, share it with your friends that need help. This really would help me out. And if you ever need more help, you can always join the live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on twitch.tv/headlestheadhunter, where I help out a little bit more by giving more tips and tricks. I can't fit them all into like a video like this. But for everybody else, next resume. This is a resume of an electrical design engineer. So, what do we need in an electrical design engineer? We need a bunch of stuff, but not all of this. Again, this is one of those rarer ones where as long as you see about 50% instead of 75% of the above, you will probably get an interview. So, degree, we need it. I need to see it. That's a requirement. I need to see the industry because the actual qualifications between a, say, healthcare electrical designer and I guess a circuit board are going to be a little bit different. The rest of this is still the same, but the industries are going to have some very specific qualifications. Then I need Microsoft Office. It was in a lot of job descriptions. You need it. I need AutoCAD or OrCAD, which I've not heard of until looking for this, but apparently it was in a lot of it. I need wiring and harnesses and electromechanical. I need circuits, schematic tools, FPGA, microcontrollers, PCB, SIPI, MATLAB was in a bunch, Siemens Expedition or anything Siemens, I think, Cadence KiCad, and a bonus for SPI, I2C, UART, JT, blah, 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 blah. So, can I find that in 20 seconds? Let's find out. And go. Okay. Can't use anything here, but you do have a degree. That is good. Okay. Battery-powered heating device. That good tells me what it is. Don't care about the watts. That doesn't matter. Microcontrollers does. Written in uncomprehensible. I don't need that. Don't need anything here. All right. Deleted. Yeeted and deleted. So, what did they say? Your standard no internship, but good everywhere else. Fresh engineering grad. With this, I was able to score half a dozen final interviews in roles. Advertises needing 3 to 5. Yeah, you know what? This tracks. This is a hot industry. Like, there are industries where it doesn't matter how good your resume is, and I get that, is like nursing. Like, if you have a degree that just says nurse, and you show that you've spent 2 years as a nurse, your resume does not matter. It doesn't. This is what a hot market is. This is a hot market. So, let's see. 2 interviews that fell through. 2 rejections that implied I was a runner-up. However, I want a job ASAP so that my finances will let me... Oh, geez. Okay. Wow. I did not know about that. That is... I'm not sure if you want that public, but okay. So, not sure how I can work smarter going forward, but for help, Headless Hunter, I am just sick of this. So, here's the thing. You've scored a lot of interviews because this is a hot market. Your resume is still garbage. And I know what I just said, and it's true. You can still score interviews with this, but if you want to score the best ones, you're going to need to redo your resume. You, again, have most of the keywords. The problem is they need to be here, right? I cannot use anything here. So your formatting is mid, but this stuff, which you correctly got, look, I have Microsoft Office, I have OrCAD, I have microcontrollers, I have PCB, circuits. That is the stuff that I'm looking for. But again, I need to see how you did those. You are in a terrible job market as a fresher, but your particular job market is hot. But you're a fresher, and that's going to be problems. So I get what I'm saying, but there are two things that can be true at once. And what you need to do is you need to fix this. So you will still get interviews, and it's likely possible that you may have gotten an offer by the time I actually review this. But if you want to get better offers and more offers, and instead of a 1-to-50 ratio, a 1-to-15, then you're going to need to fix your resume. So again, I need it to look like this, but this is the stuff that I care about. I cannot use anything here. I cannot. It has to be here. So if you want the best jobs, you can do that. Because even in a hot market, there are some companies that still maintain a lot of people. And this is where, like, nurses could sometimes complain to be like, I'm getting offers, but it's not for the ones that I want. It's the low-hanging fruit companies. And this is wise because the resume is not good. So you are at the point, and you should count yourself lucky, where you are not having to choose any job. You are having to choose the best jobs. But to do that, you need to fix your resume. And to everybody else wondering what makes a job market and why the job market is bad but good, it's because the job market is not the job market. The job market is 200 job markets in a trench coat. So, and this is the problem. The media will say, oh, it's the job market, blankety blank. But again, the difference between an electrical design engineer, a software engineer, a blue-collar machinist, and an accountant with a CPA versus not, is radically different. So when you hear the word job market, I want you to think differently of, instead of it's all good or bad, is it's very, very specific. It's 200 in a trench coat. And your job market is doing pretty well in that trench coat. But you want the best jobs with it, and to do that, you need to fix your resume. So let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a Java software engineer. This is their second or third iteration. They said their first one was like a 1 in 200. They don't know the ratio for this yet. They are in my chat right now, so let's review this. What we need is Java, Spring, Spring Boot, SQL, RESTful API, microservices, OOP, Git, other APIs, Maven, Cloud, architecting, STLC, MongoDB, and extra credit for all that good stuff. So let's go. And 20 seconds. Boom. All right. Data science. Okay. Built a Java Spring Boot service on AWS. Okay, good. Enters your nodes using DynamoDB and RESTful APIs. Okay. Design a multi-threaded. Good. They like that word. You already said Java, though. Incorporating Baker's algorithm and Redis clusters. This is where you lose me. Implemented Java Spring Boot microservice on AWS. Good. Creating RESTful APIs. 3D scanning. And that's it. So this needs a little bit of work. You started off strong. You started off really good. And then we kind of got into stuff that I don't really care about, right? So let me see directly what you wrote. Is revise this resume. Yeah, we do not know the ratio of this one. The previous one was 1 in 200. So here's what we're gonna do. Java, good. But when you put this, I need a comma or something. I want this to be 3. So I want to see like Java, comma, Spring Boot on AWS, or here it is. Built. Yeah, this is where it gets confusing. Okay. I actually don't know what this is. What do you mean a Java service? Is this a web page? I don't know. So what I want you to rewrite it, assuming it's a web page, you can replace this with anything, is built a web page using Java, comma, Spring Boot, comma, and RESTful APIs in an AWS environment for resource allocation across nodes or something, right? And then this I like, right? Designed a multi-threaded Java component. Or again, you could say designed a... In fact, you could combine these probably as designed a multi-threaded Java service using Spring Boot and a RESTful APIs on AWS EC2, right? And AWS EC2 you may want because for backend engineers, they like knowing a little bit of the other stuff. But I would put AWS and then in parentheses put EC2. And then we go down here, which is fine, right? Java Spring Boot. Again, it looks weird when it says Java Spring Boot. I need like a comma or something here and something else. So implemented Java, comma, Spring Boot, comma, microservices on AWS. Again, this is good because you used AWS here and here. While this is bad to have Java here and here. So, although admittedly, I don't know if you could really put anything other than Java here. Creating RESTful APIs that supported authentication file object that's perfect. So, yeah, a big issue is just this part. You start losing me, but this is where I have. And this is good. Am I missing anything? Well, I don't know if I see MongoDB. I do see DynamoDB. And this, right? This they would like to see, but it's all the way down here, so you need to move it up. So yeah, you need to essentially combine some of these bullet points because you're trying to fit a little bit too much. And again, you already mentioned AWS up top. Why do we need to do EKS here in 95 percentile? So is this bad? No. But it could be a lot better. Could be a lot better, and that's what I'm going to help you out. So for everybody else, we're going to the next resume. For this person, I'm going to help them out on stream. So next resume. This is the resume of a business analyst intern. So what we need for a business analyst intern is degree, basic knowledge of the industry, so advanced Excel, macros, pivot tables, PowerPoints. We do need MS Office. You need MS Office. It was in like 8 job descriptions. In fact, it was in most of them. And data visualization tools, and that you can explain complex topics to non-tech people. We need a little bit of customer service and the ability to work well with others and takes direction and criticism. So can I find it in 20 seconds? Let's find... Oh, I hate this formatting already. Okay. All right. Can't use anything here. Where's your degree? Where's your degree? Okay, you got it down there. Okay, you did have it. So Power BI. Okay, good. Don't care what that is. I don't know what that is, and I don't care about it. Don't care. Don't care. But you did use Smartsheets and SQL, so that's at least okay. And time's up. Delete. This is why you never use 2 columns. Always use a single column. This makes it worse. So this person says, I am currently looking for internships in the Netherlands. I am a US-based recruiter. How should I tailor my CV for the Dutch market? As I'm having a hard time getting my CV shortlisted. Thank you in advance. I don't know the Dutch market. I've gotten people jobs in the EU and in the UK, but I want to be very clear. My knowledge base is in the US. I know how to get you an internship in the US, but I don't know the Dutch market. I'm not sure why you thought I did know the Dutch market. I thought I've been pretty clear that I'm not as aware of other markets. Yeah. So what we need to do, though, is, well, normally I'd say delete this and start again, but you actually have a couple of good bullet points. So, like, this is actually a good bullet point. I like this. This I also like is a good bullet point. Everything else needs to be trashed. And again, I'm looking for this stuff in here, but never, ever, ever use two columns. This is why you don't use 2 columns, is if you saw I had to go to here, which I then didn't want. I ignored everything here, had to scroll all the way down to get to the education. Then I had to bounce back around up to here, and I already lost about 8 seconds of your resume when I only have 20. So use this formatting. This is a nightmare. Again, does this look prettier than this? Yeah. Are the colors more standouty on this one? Yeah, but that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for basic, boring, and easy to read. The more boring and basic your resume looks, the better. And I don't know if this will translate to the Dutch market. I truly have no idea. If people are watching from the Netherlands, let me know. Does this translate to Dutch? Like the market. I don't know. I truly don't. I would love to know. But yeah, your big issue is just you don't have it in the bullet points that I need, right? Like, where's Microsoft Office? Where's Excel? Where's working together? Where's explaining complex topics to non-technical people? I don't see any of that. I see that you collaborated with stakeholders, but that's not explaining complex topics. So this is written just like a normal data or business analyst with a little bit less than what they have. So that's all I can do for this one. Let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of, I don't know. They didn't tell me. Again, when you submit a software engineer resume, you need to tell me the type because it is based on stacks. Are there other jobs besides full stack, backend, Python, backend, Java, backend, C#, .NET, and front end? Yeah, obviously there are, but these are like the 5 most common ones. And if your resume is not tailored to one of these, unless you know specifically the niche you're applying to, you're probably not going to get an interview. So I'm going to roll a d20, see what it lands on. That's what I'm going to review it on. It landed on 4. Also, yes, I am playing Pathfinder tonight. So this is a backend C# developer. So I'm going to review this as if it was a backend C# developer. So C#.NET, same thing, not same thing, but same qualifications is what I should say. So here it is, and this is a C#.NET developer. Boop, boop, and away we go. And I think .NET is all caps, right? Yeah, there it is. So we're going to look for .NET, C#, SQL, Cloud, MVS, which is Microsoft Visual Studios, Git, Agile, RESTful APIs, CI/CD, front end. I don't know why they wanted front end as well, but they did. Cross-functional DevOps and ASP.NET, and go. All right. Okay, too long. Develop the full stack. Okay, React, TypeScript, C#. Wow, this actually is a C# dev. Good, okay. Built a Python-based, well, no, now I don't really care about this. And then Azure Functions, but not Azure. Redis cluster, I don't care about. All right, and this will be a yeet. Wow, they actually, I think, were a C# dev. That's actually shocking. I did not see enough to move forward with, though. There wasn't enough. Whereas, like, I did see C#, I did see .NET, that was good. I did see SQL. But I didn't see a lot of other stuff that I needed, like MVS or Agile or RESTful APIs. So again, this person has like 60% of what I need, but I need 75 to move you forward. So what did this person write to me? They wrote, I am an international student in the U.S. Oof, good luck. You are 1 in 100 might be the ratio you could expect with a good resume because of the law changes. Let's see, looking for a full-time job starting in summer 2026. That's way too far in advance. Again, everybody's trying to look this far in advance, unless it's for like a very, very big company like Google or Visa or something. I don't think they're going to hire you this far in advance. I've made some changes after watching your videos, but have not received any interviews after 100 applications. No, you're going to need to do more than 100 applications. You're an international student. You're going to need to do 100 to 1 is a good ratio. Like 100 applications to 1 interview is a good ratio for an international student. You need those numbers up. Also, your resume, and that's with a great resume, which this is not a bad resume. I want to be clear. This is not a delete it and redo it all. It's just mid. And unfortunately, for mid for an international student is not good enough. I've received 3 interview calls for internships after applying to 1,000 roles. Wait, are you going to interns or are you going to full-time? Okay, I think it's full-time. Yeah, this is a fine internship resume. It's not the greatest, but it's okay. But I need this to be more focused, right? Like if I'm looking for a C#.NET dev, I don't care about your coursework. Your formatting needs to follow this. So I've spoken enough about that this video, but your formatting's bad and you need to fix it. But then here, right, full stack, okay, good. SAS using React, that's okay. TypeScript, not as something I care about. And C#.NET with a CI/CD is good. And then GitHub, but I don't care about Bamboo and Octopus. And then you said Azure Kubernetes. I don't care about Azure Kubernetes. I just care about Azure. And then here, I don't care about Python. I don't care about Fast API. I don't care about Databricks. There's nothing here. Here has SQL. And it's okay. So again, your problem is you're not focused. This is so broad that it only has about 50 to 60% of what I need, and you're focused on so many other things than this. This is it. Now, if you're qualified for 2 different roles, you need 2 separate resumes. And in fact, I would recommend you break this into 3 resumes. 1 full stack, 1 Python backend, 1 C# backend. Because right now, this is why you're having trouble, is this is so combined with everything. And then again, you also filled your resume with these terrible, terrible percentages. Stop doing that. But, yeah, that's kind of all I can do. Again, terrible percentages. The actual qualifications are written okay, but they're filled with too much other junk that I may miss what I need. So if I would really say this is like a C- resume, is that it passes but barely, but because you're an international, you are judged to standards much harsher, which I wish wasn't the case, and you will need close to 100 applications to get a single interview with a resume that is better than this. So make those changes, prepare yourself mentally, start preparing hard, and start really going at it in the last, I'd say, February, give or take. So, because again, that's when they're really going to start moving forward with you, and hopefully the laws will have changed by then to make it easier. But that's all I can do for this. Thank you all for watching. If you ever need more help, you can join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on twitch.tv/headless/headhunter. And please share this with your friends and family that need help. Repost it. Doing that little thing really does help me out a lot. And I will see you all in the next video.